Have you ever had that sinking feeling when you're booking a flight? You check the price in the morning, you hesitate, you come back in the afternoon, and suddenly it's $50 more. You feel like the airline is watching you.
That's because they are watching you, or at least their algorithms are. And it's not just paranoia, it's one of the most sophisticated economic strategies in existence. It's the art of squeezing every last cent out of your wallet based on exactly how much you're willing to part with.
That sounds incredibly predatory when you put it that way.
In a way, it is, but economists call it price discrimination. And while the name sounds bad, the reality is even more fascinating. It's the holy grail for any monopoly or company with enough market power. The goal is simple: eliminate the idea of a standard price entirely.
Eliminate the standard price? But if I walk into a grocery store, a gallon of milk costs what it costs.
For now. But think about it. If a company charges $5 for a product, two things happen. First, they lose the customer who was only willing to pay $4. Second, and this is the part that keeps CEOs up at night, they lose money on the customer who would have happily paid $10. That difference? That's money left on the table. Economists call it consumer surplus. The goal of price discrimination is to vacuum up that surplus.
So, essentially, they want to charge the rich person 10, the middle-class person 5, and the bargain hunter 4, all for the exact same item?
Exactly. But here is the catch. You can't just ask people, "Hey, how desperate are you for this coffee?" People lie. So, monopolies have to be detectives. They have to deduce your willingness to pay through your behavior, your data, and your demographics.
Okay, let's break this down. How do they actually pull this off without people rioting?
Well, it happens in degrees. The most basic form, let's call it third-degree discrimination, is something we all accept. Have you ever gone to the movies and seen a student discount? Or a senior citizen discount?
Sure. That feels like a nice gesture. Helping out the broke college kids.
It feels like charity, doesn't it? It's not. It's pure profit maximization. The theatre knows a student isn't going to pay $20 for a ticket. If the price is rigid at $20, the seat stays empty. An empty seat earns $0. By lowering the price just for that group, they capture revenue they would have otherwise lost. Meanwhile, the working adult who just wants to see the movie on a Friday night, they pay full price because the theatre knows they can and will.
So they are segmenting us based on who we are.
Precisely. They use observable traits, age, location, timing. Why do you think airline tickets are cheaper if you stay over a Saturday night?
I never really thought about it. Maybe less demand?
It's to filter out business travelers. Business consultants want to fly home Friday. They have corporate cards. They aren't price sensitive. Tourists stay the weekend. By adding that Saturday stay rule, the airline separates the price-sensitive vacationer from the price-insensitive business traveler. They charge the business guy triple, and he pays it without blinking.
That is diabolically smart. But that's grouping people. What about when they try to get inside my head specifically?
That brings us to second-degree discrimination. This is less about who you are and more about how much you consume. Think about Costco or your utility bill.
Buying in bulk?
Right. The unit price drops the more you buy. It encourages you to buy more than you initially intended. But it's also a way of self-selection. The person who is sensitive to price will go through the hassle of buying a £50 bag of rice to save a few cents per ounce. The person who values their time more than their money will buy the small bag at the corner store for a premium. You reveal your preference by which package you choose.
Okay, but this all seems manageable. I can choose to buy the big bag. I can use my student ID if I have one. It feels like I still have some agency.
That's true. Those are the clumsy old-school methods. But we need to talk about the ultimate goal, the first degree, perfect price discrimination.
Perfect price discrimination? That sounds ominous.
It's the theoretical limit. In a perfect world for the monopoly, not for you, they would know the exact maximum price every single individual is willing to pay and charge them exactly that amount. No consumer surplus left. You walk away feeling like you paid the absolute most you could bear, but you still bought it.
Is that even possible? That requires mind reading.
Historically? No. It was impossible. You couldn't negotiate a different price for every single customer walking into a department store. It's too slow, too expensive. But we don't live in the age of department stores anymore. We live in the age of big data.
Ah, I see where this is going. The internet.
The internet. Think about Amazon. Think about Uber. They have your history. They know what phone you use. Fun fact, people with newer iPhones are often shown higher prices for hotels than people with older Androids.
Wait, seriously?
Seriously, it's a proxy for income. If you're browsing a travel site and the algorithm sees you're on a high-end device in a wealthy zip code and you've clicked on 3 luxury resorts previously, the price you see for that hotel room might be higher than what I see from a library computer in a different neighborhood.
That feels illegal.
It's a grey area. They call it dynamic pricing. Look at Uber's surge pricing. It's sold as supply and demand. Oh, we need more drivers on the road. But there have been studies suggesting that the app knows when your battery is low.
No way.
If your battery is at 5%, you are desperate. You are not going to shop around for a lift or wait for a bus. You need a car now. The algorithm knows your willingness to pay just shot through the roof. Is it ethical to charge you more because you're in a vulnerable state?
That is terrifying. It turns every transaction into a battle where I'm unarmed and they have a sniper rifle.
That's a great analogy. And monopolies are the best at this because you have nowhere else to go. If there were 5 ride-sharing apps, competition would drive the price down. But if there's only one, they can optimize that price specifically for you. It's personalization weaponized against your bank account.
But doesn't this create a weird social dynamic? If I find out I paid double what you paid for the same service, I'm going to be furious.
Which is why they work very hard to hide it. Or they reframe it. They make the products slightly different so you can't compare them directly. This is called fencing. They put up fences to stop you from seeing that you're getting a raw deal. Oh, that ticket costs more because it includes priority boarding. Does priority boarding cost the airline anything? No. But it justifies the price hike to the high-paying customer.
It's smoke and mirrors. But let me play devil's advocate here. Is there any upside to this? Or is it just corporate greed?
That's the philosophical question. Economists, the ones who love efficiency, would argue there is an upside. Remember the student movie ticket? If price discrimination didn't exist, the theatre might set a flat price of $15. The students couldn't afford it, so they wouldn't go. The theatre loses money, the students lose the entertainment. It's a dead-weight loss.
So, by discriminating, more people actually get access to the product?
Exactly. In a weird way, price discrimination can democratize access. It allows the company to serve the low end of the market by subsidizing them with profits from the high end. Pharmaceutical companies often use this defense. They charge high prices in the US to fund R&D and sell the same drugs at cost in developing nations. If they had to charge one global price, the developing nations wouldn't get the drug at all.
I suppose that makes sense on paper, but it relies on the company actually serving the low end. In the digital world, it feels like they're just using it to extract maximum value from everyone.
That is the danger, especially as algorithms get smarter. We are moving toward a world where the price tag is fluid. Imagine walking into a supermarket and the digital shelf label changes based on facial recognition as you approach.
Don't give them ideas.
They already have the ideas. The technology exists. The only thing stopping it is the creepy factor and potential regulation. But think about the implications for inequality. If the rich pay more, is that a progressive tax administered by corporations? Or consider the reverse. What if the algorithm realizes that poor people who have less time to shop around and fewer transportation options are actually less elastic?
Meaning they're stuck?
Exactly. If you live in a food desert with only one store, that store has a local monopoly. They can charge higher prices than a store in a wealthy suburb where there's a Whole Foods, a Trader Joe's, and a Walmart competing for customers. In that case, Price discrimination hurts the most vulnerable.
That's a depressing thought. It flips the student discount logic on its head. Instead of a discount for the needy, it's a captive penalty for those who can't escape.
And that is why the monopoly aspect is so crucial. Competition is the only real shield the consumer has. If I can walk away, their algorithm loses its power. If I can't walk away, whether it's because of a patent, a lack of infrastructure, or just market dominance, I am at their mercy.
It makes you wonder about the future of consumption. We used to think of prices as facts. This costs $5. Now, a price is just a starting point for a negotiation that we don't even know we're having.
A negotiation where the other side knows your salary, your spending habits, your location, and your battery life.
So, what do? Do we browse in incognito mode for the rest of our lives?
It helps. But the real shift has to be awareness. Understanding that dynamic pricing is often just a euphemism for testing what you can tolerate. And perhaps, as a society, deciding where the line is. Is it okay for concert tickets? Probably. Is it okay for life-saving medicine or water during a drought? Absolutely not.
It's the difference between luxury and necessity.
Right. But as monopolies grow, they tend to turn luxuries into necessities. Look at the internet itself. It's hard to function without it. If your ISP decides to price discriminate based on your usage data, you just have to pay up.
It really redefines the concept of value. Value isn't what the product is worth. Value is just a measure of my own desperation.
That's a haunting way to put it. We are moving from an economy of goods to an economy of extraction. The product is just the lure. The real transaction is the extraction of your surplus.
Well, on that cheerful note, I think I'm going to go clear my browser cookies before I buy anything else today.
Probably a smart move. Just don't let them know you're doing it, or they might charge you for the privacy.
Laughs, I wouldn't put it past them. Thanks for ruining shopping for me.
Anytime.
And for everyone listening, next time you see a price change, remember, it's not random. It's personal. Thanks for joining us.
See you next time.